Okay, so I wanted to make this video because there were a few things that I got wrong on not even the last video I did. I think I got some stuff wrong. Initially, I was under the impression, based on what I was looking into, that they had filed for the appeal, but it seems they did not go for that appeal because of Hayen and Hedden, I guess, having talks with the father of Hayen and also ADOR, and just going back without the three other members. And I don't know, I'm guessing that might have foiled the three older members' plans, whatever those plans might have been. But I'm just gonna go over it really quick and then we'll end the video. I saw a comment that said there is no appeal. I was like, wait, that can't be right. But apparently I was wrong. And the commenter was right. There is no appeal. So the two members of New Jeans, Hayen and Hedden, after having talks with ADOR, reached an agreement and decided to return. But the three remaining members, Minji, Hani, and Danielle, had stated their intention to return to ADOR together through their lawyers. It was a separate thing. That much was true. However, this was done without reaching an agreement with ADOR. In lieu of that, many are of the belief that this petition campaign may be an attempt to gain leverage in the negotiation process. Okay? And it was reported that even ADOR is suspicious of that. And that much I do remember. On October 30th, the court did rule in favor of ADOR concerning the exclusive contract validation, ruling that the exclusive contract remains valid. Now, this is the part that I got wrong. Okay, and someone can correct me if I'm wrong again, but this is the part that I got wrong. Apparently, the members initially announced their plans to appeal. However, Hayen and Hedden decided to rejoin ADOR after conversations with both ADOR and their families, thereby respecting the ruling of the court and continuing with their contracts, right? Apparently that same day, Minji, Hani, and Danielle also made it clear their intentions to return to ADOR through their lawyers, but ADOR was stating that it was verifying the sincerity of their statements. And so they did not immediately make any official announcements as of that time. As a result of Hayen and Hedden returning to ADOR separate from the other three members, all five members unilaterally chose to not submit the appeal. So due to that is what I'm understanding. They submitted the appeal because what's the point in returning to ADOR if you're going to submit an appeal against the ruling? So I guess that was them not going through with the appeal. I was under the impression that they were going to appeal, but apparently I was wrong. Okay. Yes, so I apologize because I thought I had this thing in the bag when I did my research on it, but apparently I was wrong. I was wrong. And yeah, I'm not too proud to admit that I was wrong. So yeah, all five members unilaterally did decide to not submit an appeal before the deadline at midnight on the 14th. As a result of that, the ruling of the court during that trial that they had is now final. Like there's no going back. And as a result, all five members will remain on their contract with ADOR until 2029. Okay. Now, there have been claims made by third-party speculations that ADOR was allegedly harassing the members, colluding with the media, and even apparently favoring certain members over others, thereby creating unnecessary conflict. Now, whilst none of these claims came from New Jeans themselves, that we are aware of anyway, and there are no statements prior that are verified concerning these claims. Because these petitions were formally submitted through official channels like the National Civil Petition System, the ministry is required to review them. This sounds very familiar to me for some odd reason. And that review could include interviews, written questions, or even directly communicating with the New Jeans members. So basically, because the ministry has stepped in, and I'm getting a feeling that this might be a whole nother National Assembly thing all over again, filled with unverified speculations and claims being brought back up. And honestly, these aren't even claims being brought back up. These are new claims that just came out of thin air. New Jeans never talked about it. Nobody mentioned this stuff, these new claims. It's kind of weird, and I can't be the only one. It can't be a coincidence that right after they get back with ADOR, something else comes out to sabotage not just ADOR, but New Jeans? Here's the thing, guys. First of all, who are these third parties or this third party? Okay. Could it be Minhee Jin and or others working with her? Because we know the bunnies have been very much adamant about putting New Jean's reputation and all that stuff on the line because of what they believe to be doing the right thing for 5 helpless girls. And Minhee Jin did put them up to that. I strongly believe she used the bunny fandom. And I think everybody that has looked into this and has seen the cracks, we all believe that Minhee Jin weaponized, even people were saying that New Jeans weaponized the bunnies. One of 2 possibilities, Minhee Jin or the bunnies or both. Okay, so maybe 3 possibilities. If it is Minhee Jin, she's damaging New Jeans all over again. If this is not Minhee Jin, but it happens to be the fans of New Jeans, they too are further damaging their group that they claim to love so much. And this is right on the heels of them making this decision to return to ADOR and not submitting the appeal. I wanted this to be done. And I just feel like this has Minhee Jin hands all over. Now, it might not be her, but I don't put it past her. She does not give up. One thing we know about Minhee Jin, she doesn't give up. And if she doesn't give up, the bunnies don't give up either. Now, I will say this and then I'll be done. Due to Haein and Haedin being the youngest members of the group, the ones who said the absolute least when it came to bucking against ADOR and all this stuff, I think they might have been strung along by the 3 older members. And I think the 3 older members who were basically saying the most are more responsible than Haein and Haedin. I don't really think, because look at how they've returned. They returned at peace with ADOR, after talks with ADOR and the parents and whatnot. However, the other 3 unilaterally decided to return to ADOR after talks with who? Each other? They're not on the same page. Now, they could end up being on the same page anyway, but hopefully this doesn't cause animosity or bitterness or anger towards the other members. But maybe there was always this feeling within Haein and Haedin, possibly, that this was not the right course of action. But because they were the youngest and they didn't really know exactly who to believe and what to believe, they just kind of went along with what was going on to put up a united front against ADOR and Hybe, and Minhee Jin, of course, being the influencer, probably put them up to that as well. But at the same time, yeah, I don't know if Haein and Haedin are as much to blame anymore as I once thought all 5 members were. I think it's mainly the main 3, because you see the split. You see how they returned as opposed to how Haein and Haedin returned. So now we're looking at Minji, Hani, and Danielle, the 3 main girls that were talking the absolute most during this whole thing. And we're seeing something that I actually did not anticipate. It might not have been all 5 members willingly wanting to do this, but again, to put up a united front and to show people that they are united in their decisions. I think that's why Haein and Haedin decided to do it. I know in that interview that they did with, I think it was BBC or something, they were like, if one of the members did not want to do it, then we wouldn't do it, which I feel like that's not true. Because if it's true that Haein and Haedin didn't want to do it, but they felt like there was no point in speaking up because they're the youngest and no one's going to listen to them, and they don't know honestly who to believe, they're not going to say anything. And even if they did say something, would they actually say, okay, we won't do it then? We won't go through with this? I doubt it, because Minhee Jin is at the forefront. That's my feeling. Minhee Jin is at the forefront. And if Minhee Jin is at the forefront, they will do whatever it takes. I made this video mainly to correct what I said earlier. I really did think that there was going to be an appeal, but it does make more sense that there won't be an appeal due to the 3 other members returning after Haein and Haedin returned. So I guess that's nipped in the bud. But again, now it's still not over, because some third party out there decided to put forth these allegations about ADOR mistreating the girls in some way. If someone doesn't want this drama to be over, I want it to be done. I'm tired. But apparently someone doesn't want this drama to be over, so much so that they are trying to break up New Jeans again. They're trying to damage ADOR again. They're trying to damage New Jeans again. If this is truly the bunny fandom that's doing this, or a sect of the bunny fandom, y'all must not love New Jeans. You must not. I doubt that you do, because you wouldn't do this to them. But because you believe that New Jeans was right in fighting back, perhaps that's why this is happening. If it's not the bunnies, and if it's Min Jin, that makes sense as well. Because Min Jin does not like to give up. She really doesn't. When you think she's done, when you think she's down and out, she finds some sly, slick way of working some narrative in that messes everything up all over again. So, and I do apologize again for getting that wrong. I thought that I was right, but I was wrong. I was definitely wrong. And I take accountability for that. So I'll see you in the next one. Hopefully it won't be Min Jin, New Jeans, ADOR, Hybe related. It will be back to business as usual, which means my analysis videos on K-pop stuff. At the end of the day, I only talked about this stuff again because I want the girls to be okay. I really want the girls to be okay. I truly do. That's where my heart's been for the majority of this time that I've been talking about this. I want the girls to be okay. I do not like how they've been dragged into this. I don't like how they've been pulled, how they've been yanked in every which direction. I don't like how Min Jin has been trying to help the girls by harming the girls, aid the girls by damaging their reputation and their career ultimately. I don't like that. All because Min Jin has a higher agenda that's all selfish, that's all about her and not about the well-being of the girls. It's all about her. But yes, just for those who were not with me when I started covering the Min Jin, New Jeans, ADOR, Hybe stuff, no, I'm not placing all the blame on Min Jin. Some of this blame also goes to the girls. It is partially their fault. Like I said in the last video, they are partially to blame for this, but let's not forget, they got roped into this by Min Jin. This is predominantly her fault. She's the main culprit in all this. And it's all for selfish reasons. And in that sense, the girls are innocent. But as far as their contributions to Min Jin's craziness, shenanigans, whatever you want to call it, yeah, they hold some responsibility in that because they do have their own mind. Even though I do believe they were manipulated by her, they still have their own mind at the end of the day. But even in saying that, I still believe because of how young and impressionable and naive they are, they were done wrong by her and the parents as well. And I honestly think that's the biggest issue. So yes, I still want the girls to be okay. And when this is all over, hopefully they'll realize later on in life what kind of nonsense this was and the damage that was done to them during the puberty stages of their lives. And hopefully they will get help. That's what I want. That's my hope for the girls. I just pray that they'll be okay and that they'll get through this. But yeah, that's all I wanted to say, guys, for now. And remember to like, comment, and subscribe for more content from your boy. And until next time, it is your boy, Moonlight, signing out. Peace. Love you guys. Bye-bye.